I have wanted Ashley on this show. I was actually trying to get her on a call on Friday that I ended up messing the timing up for. I have wanted her on this show. She is like a 13-year OG in live streaming content, a YouTuber herself. I think she has got over 100,000 subs, and she's been working managing communities for brands. I think it's truly relevant in 2026 as more and more brands are trying to become media companies in and of themselves and learn to have an actual community instead of just using the term community. Want to bring her inside of this show. Everybody, welcome Ashley Christensen, community lead. In here, Ashley.
I'm such a big head in the middle here. Oh my god!
You know, it happens. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, it's
Ashley.
fun. It's authentic to real life, so that's fine.
Ashley, we appreciate you making the time and joining the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys. I'm really excited to talk shop with you. I love the show. I think the production is incredible. Like, I've watched it several times. You're doing something really cool for the industry, so I'm super excited.
We really appreciate that.
You know, we try, Ashley. I would love just to borrow some of your brain power here, Ashley. I think you've worked with like everyone and everything when it comes to live streaming. I mean, gaming, crypto, AI, blockchain. I mean, it seems like everybody. You've worked with everyone and everything. You know, when it comes to creators, live shows, people who are really galvanizing their community and fostering that in a good way, are there highlights? Are there common factors that you see across those that make them really work? I ask this because, you know, most of the brand founders that we work with, and including myself when I was one, we want to have a winsome community that engages, that, you know, that watches, that views, that is endeared to us. But a lot of times community is just really more of a tag. It's more of a title than anything else.
Yes.
And you know, when you see these brands and communities, and is there anything that stands out that are common factors for, yes, this is working?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I agree with you. I think community is incredibly powerful, also incredibly misunderstood, a massive buzzword, something that everybody wants but doesn't really know what it is, either in execution or we're just not quite aligned in what it really means and the business objectives that community can achieve. Whenever it comes to what community looks like, and I guess the things that it takes to make it successful, one of the major mistakes that I see a lot of people making, especially with the just overwhelming interest in live media right now, is not talking to chat.
No, don't say it, Ashley.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if you don't talk to chat, first off, you're not going to get more, because people aren't going to interact if you're not interacting.
Devastating news for Chris.
It's devastating news for me.
A huge bummer. Are you not a chat fan?
No, I love chat. I love chat. But in whatever on my laptop right now, and however this is set up, I can't even see chat. I mean,
we can't see chat.
Another monitor, man.
I know. I got to get
another monitor. Get on your phone and just pull it up and be like, "Hey, chat."
That's what I should do. That's what I should do. But I'm knocking you off. I'm knocking you off your trail here. Keep going, Ashley.
Okay, so that's just like community within the live media model. Obviously, community means a lot of different things. I like live media a lot because I feel like it's the perfect bridge between audience and community. So what you guys are doing now is perfect bridge content for that, because if you have an existing audience, you can pull them into some kind of 24/7 community space. And if you have a 24/7 community space already, or you've been a community builder for a while, you can use live to pull people into other like top of funnel social platforms. So a big part of successful community as well is making sure that you actually have a space for people to congregate, because one of the other mistakes that I see is just assuming that you have a community because somebody responds to you on X, or like interacts with your social content or any content on top of funnel platforms. That is not enough. That is a viewer, that is an audience, but an audience and a community are two very different things, and I think people conflate those quite often.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is amazing. Ashley, can you talk a little bit about kind of your thesis for why live streaming has kind of ramped up so much in the last couple of years? What have you seen? What have you heard? And kind of who is doing it successfully?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started on Twitch in 2012, so I've been in this space for
Let's go, Ashley, a true OG.
OG.
True
I think
OG.
I was one of, like, the first 3 girls on the platform. Just
That's crazy.
Absolute nightmare back then. Yeah, so the primary reason that there is so much interest coming into live right now is because the OpenAI acquisition of TBPN just a couple of months ago was absolutely massive. The last couple of years, I think we're seeing this integration of the traditional, even like games live streaming with Twitch or any of the other platforms that exist with larger, more celebrity culture. So if you look at somebody like Kai Cenat, who did some absolutely incredible like theatrical streams, he was streaming with celebrities. And this even goes all the way back to, I think 2018 was the first time we saw this integration of celebrity culture onto Twitch whenever Ninja played with Drake. And that kind of showed us the potential of what could happen. And it took a few more years for us to get to where we're at today. But there's definitely more, integration of cultures, and you see chat as terminology that has really crossed the chasm into just people who don't even know that Twitch exists will say, "Hey, chat." That became like Gen Z slang for a while. And it's cool to see how much live streaming especially has broken out into mass culture, because it used to be such a counterculture thing.
We have been wrestling with this idea, Ashley, called the Truman Show brand. Actually, Taylor Holiday was the first one to come on in January and talk with us about it. But essentially, it's kind of like opening the doors completely, and allowing your buyers, your customers to I guess fully engage with you in a kind of a permanent way. And the idea is, outside of traditional creators, there would be brands like, e-commerce brands, D2C brands, whatever, even maybe on the AI lab side. I'm not sure, but the idea would be like there is a live streaming gateway where people can come, view, be wowed, talk about you more, find ways to engage with you, hopefully IRL in the future. One example that I feel like is a really concrete manifestation of this was what Figure did with their Helix robots. Brett Adcock,
so good.
We love
so good, right? So good.
Much fun. Yes. For anybody who didn't watch, the Figure team had robots. They had a 24/7 live stream of robots like moving packages down a conveyor belt. And they did a couple of really cool things too. They made this piece of content that was like it was a video that was really fast paced of the entire like 8 days up until that point. So you got to see the switch out of the robots, because they would use different ones and like how fast they moved. And then they did human versus robot, which was really cool. That was super fun. It was a crime I was not involved with that.
It was. It's a crime that Ashley was not involved. Do you think that we will see more of this? Brands, companies finding interesting ways to engage, sell, get eyeballs on what they are doing with live streaming, and in a kind of I'm for sure it'd have to be visually interesting. There'd have to be some kind of stakes behind it, etc. But do you think there's going to be more of this?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. I mean, I'm already talking to several brands that are building out live shows, whether that's traditional media companies or VCs or startups or creators
Wow.
themselves. A lot of people are building it right now. There are even people that are raising to build live shows. Like A16z just
Yeah.
started MTS a couple of months
Right.
ago. There's like Yahoo Finance and Huffington Post that are interested in this. And then there's also live shopping on the e-commerce side, which is your
Oh,
entire
totally.
show. So
Totally.
you've got like a ridiculous amount of content that's about to happen. Um, yeah, it's about to be huge.
We
Wow.
so we just
Sorry.
covered on the show today earlier was basically Prime taking out Messi's drink, and
Oh yeah,
what's
yeah.
really interesting in that is the fact that Messi is basically the best soccer player in the world, but
Mhm.
Prime was backed by KSI and Logan Paul, the some of the best streamers arguably on the planet. Do you
Mhm.
think there are other streamers that you know of that you think should kind of take under this, big business that they should build that we don't know about yet? There's some people out there where you're thinking, gosh, they should really try to tackle this kind of product market fit. They should launch a product around them, but they haven't quite yet.
Yeah, that is going to happen more and more. Pokimane launched Mina
Yeah.
cookies a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
She got some interesting
Yeah.
she got some
Remember that.
interesting feedback on it, even though I don't know, her cookies were awesome and I loved them.
Sure.
But there are more and more people. You've got like Logan Paul and everybody else who is getting into CPG. And I think a big reason for this is on the creator side. On one hand, we know like reach is becoming more and more difficult to earn, but also a lot of creators have been at this for like 10 or 15 years. And so
Yeah.
a bit more they're starting to think a bit more into the future and what
Sure.
their business actually is.
Yeah.
And while creating content is great, and we love YouTube videos and live streams and posting on X and everything else, it's it requires a lot of your time
Oh
and it
yeah.
requires your presence. So if you want to step away, whether you get sick or you enter into a life stage where maybe you have a kid, like I just did 8 months ago, it's just not as easy to run a solely a content business whenever
Mm.
you're entering into this like new stage of life that a lot of creators are aging into. So you see more and more of them getting into CPG because it adds a little bit more stability, and it's also a lot easier to yeah, I was gonna say it's like easier to operate as a business and run it in the way that makes it profitable, but CPG is like notoriously difficult, even
Oof.
if you have
Tough.
distribution. So
It is tough. It is tough.
It's super tough.
But maybe some of them need to take a page out of your book, Ashley. Who I mean, you were a creator for so many years, and I heard you tweeting about this. Now you pivoted, you started doing your consulting, you started doing other things, and I think you're pretty happy with where
oh
things
yeah.
have taken you.
Yeah, I loved the era of life of being a full-time creator. It was great. But there are also only so many things that you can learn in that role that you can't learn if you are not on the professional side. So I was a full time creator for like 5 years and primarily built my company helping other creators and streamers learn how to grow across social platforms and grow communities and make better live content. And then ended up going into startups and working with companies. And I got a lot more, I think, like professional experience and exposure to things that I definitely wouldn't have had otherwise,
Yeah.
to the point where now I've got this. I have a much more stable income. There's
Yeah.
still not a cap on my income, which is the reason that like a lot of people get into content creation. And I am absolutely happier because I'm not reliant on likability or
Yeah.
relevance or any of the things that content creators have to rely on.
Wow.
Could you talk a little bit about, I'm the CMO at a company. I'm trying to make this sell of, getting more into content creation and live streaming. My CEO is just not having it. How do I have that conversation and sell into the org where they're willing to kind of
That's a good
make a
question,
bet
Harley.
and just say, hey, we're going to trust this. How do I sell that to him so he is, willing to give me a shot on this?
Oh, this is such a good question. I didn't even get prepped for this one at all. It's so good. I just got to do it off the dome. That's great. Okay, so the biggest thing that a CEO is going to worry about is, does this help us achieve some kind of business objective?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then we're not going to commit the spend to it, or the resources or the labor or anything else. And so the biggest thing with live streaming that I use in order to pitch, whether it's a company or a VC or whoever else, is trust and conversion, and also retention. Because this is kind of a bet, right? This is a thesis, but we're seeing this proliferation of AI content to the point where we have so much content now, where Instagram is having to change their algorithm to prioritize other content products so that reels don't get absolutely overwhelmed and they get like way too much supply compared to the demand that can keep up with it. And so whenever you have that reality, reach becomes more and more difficult to earn, especially because you've got creators who have figured out how to scale to a massive level, and you've got AI tools that are allowing us to create hundreds of videos or content on any platform per day. And right now, algorithms really will reward that frequency. So as people are getting better, quality of content is going up, and the bar is raising. At the same time, you've got just this massive amount of content. So we're seeing almost a decrease in reach across a plethora of platforms. This is most notable on Instagram, but happens everywhere. And so in that environment, we also have a problem with trust, where 10 years ago, we used to view social content from the just standard operating mode of trust. We trusted what we saw. We trusted influencers to tell us the truth. And now everybody has wisened up to the reality of what happens on the internet, is that most of the things are paid. There's a lot of ads everywhere, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it has created this, it's shifted the operating mode in the standard consumer on social to viewing things from a perspective of distrust. And so we have all of these factors that are kind of merging together into an environment of low trust, high skepticism, difficulty in reach. And in that situation, live becomes a perfect antidote, because it is bridge content that allows you to build a 24/7 community that will add additional, like, gasoline on the fire of any marketing spend that you have. Because when you have a community, you can get free UGC, you can get growth, there's word of mouth, there's referral programs, there's ambassador programs, so many things that you can do to like 10x the efforts that you're already doing. And you get retention, and you get trust and stickiness, because people aren't just there for the brand or for a single person. A good community is there for each other.
Boy.
Wow. That's a good sell.
I'm so inspired by this. Actually, I've got like 3 things that I want to bounce off of you, but I think we need to save them for another time. Everybody and their mom who wants to get into live streaming should go and talk with Ashley. Ashley, tell everybody where to find you, where to follow you, where to bend your ear, should they so desire, like I want to after the show. Where should people find you and follow you?
Anytime. I'm happy to hang out. X is my primary platform, so just at Ashley Christ on X. And I'm not going to give you 100 things to follow, because nobody's going to do that.
All right. Go follow at Ashley Christ. We appreciate you making the time and joining us. We look forward to having you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.